AI is growing at a rapid pace, and by 2027, in India, the AI market is going to reach a total of $17 billion. So today I'm going to take you through a roadmap of how to become an AI engineer. Right now, if you go to LinkedIn, under AI, there are so many different roles that have popped up. Before, you would have heard of roles in ML engineering or data science, which obviously has some AI concepts as well. But now, if you check LinkedIn or any job portal, there are various different job roles. There is AI engineering, and under AI engineering, there are very subdivision roles. There is Gen AI roles, there are prompt engineering roles, and apart from that, there are very core, deep tech roles like research scientists, applied AI scientists. There are more roles that are very deep tech. But as a beginner or a fresher, AI engineer or a junior AI engineer is something you would be eyeing for, right? To get into the AI domain. So that's exactly what we're going to look in this particular video. So before starting off with the video, make sure you subscribe to Scaler's YouTube channel so that you don't miss our upcoming videos. And also, if you want us to cover any particular topic, let us know in the comments and we will create a video on that. Now, let us get into the topic. So the topic is roadmap to become an AI engineer in 2026. So in this video, I'm going to cover certain topics. First, starting off with how the AI market is, the scope of AI engineering, and then we'll be looking into what is AI engineering, what does an AI engineer do, and the skill set of an AI engineer. Once that is done, we will be looking into a roadmap on how you can start learning to become an AI engineer, right? So this is the agenda for the video. Now, starting off with the first topic, which is scope for AI. As I mentioned, the Indian AI market is expected to grow over $17 billion by 2027. More than tripling its current size according to BCG. And also, there are various industries now started hiring AI engineers because either they want to include an AI workflow within their company or internal projects, or even create AI tools for their external projects, right? Many companies already have AI chatbots within their ecosystem. It may be useful or not, but that's not the case. But they are clearly making AI applications. It could just be a wrapper over ChatGPT or a very deep tech AI project. But every single company wants to get into AI right now, right? So industries that are hiring AI engineers, there is tech, obviously, then there is finance and fintech, healthcare, manufacturing, defense, media. These are some industries. Pretty much every single industry is trying to get into AI. Even journalism is getting into AI, right? So now, this is the global artificial intelligence market. The reason why I have kept this is to just show you that if the market size of a particular industry increases, there will be more companies and there will be more opportunities for you to apply for jobs. So basically, right now would be the right time for you to upskill in AI and also get into AI, right? So it can be any role that you want to choose. Now, the global AI engineering market currently, so in 2023, it was $196 billion, and now it is expected to grow by 36.6%. This is the global market CAGR by 2030, right? And you can see they have given services, software, and hardware. So the biggest growth is going to be in services, next would be software, and finally hardware, because hardware is still in the growth stage. Physical AI, that is robotics that you see, is technically currently in the growth stage, but services, that is you have AI chatbots like ChatGPT, Claude and all. And also there are AI wrappers using the APIs for these LLM wrappers. And there are very particular use cases with these projects also have come up. For example, there are healthcare AI companies. So pretty much every single company can get into AI, and there's a very solid growth that I can show you right here. Now, moving further, let's look into what is AI engineering. Right? So AI engineering is the discipline of designing, building, and maintaining AI systems that are scalable, ethical, and production ready. To put it very simply, as a software engineer, you are building software. Now, if you are just building AI products, that itself becomes AI engineering. But within AI engineering, there are so many different things that you can do. Let me give that brief eventually. But for now, let me just quickly compare other roles to explain what's the difference in AI engineering. If you think a data scientist also needs to learn AI, data science, mostly it's about exploring data and finding patterns and giving insights to your stakeholders to take business decisions, right? Now, in data science, data engineers clean the data and provide that data to data scientists who use it further, right? Some data companies use data scientists also to clean data, small startups, but major companies have separate departments for each of these. Now, data science is not AI. Research scientist develops new algorithms, right? A research scientist or an applied AI scientist, they work on algorithms directly. They don't work on products. For example, the products that you build would be using, let's say, an AI wrapper. Let's say you're using ChatGPT's wrapper, like ChatGPT's API. Now, an applied AI scientist or a research scientist will be working for OpenAI or these big tech companies who are into AI, building the AI software itself, the underlying tool, right? That underlying tool, as better as it gets, people who use that can build better apps. Now, an AI engineer is the person who would be using those tools and algorithms to build AI products that people use daily. That is the distinction. I hope that is clear. And MLOps engineer maintains production pipelines. You would know ML engineer, what they do. They create, they also work in algorithms. They create ML models for companies to solve particular problems, right, within the company. Now, an MLOps engineer kind of came from DevOps, which is developer operations. Similarly, in MLOps, you are technically an ML engineer, also a DevOps engineer, where your job role would be a little bit of machine learning. You would need to know a bit of coding and also tech in that. And also you would need to know some DevOps tools so that you can make this ML model that you have created run successfully, basically end to end. That entire pipeline would be under your control. Now, I think now you can get the difference between what an AI engineer does and what these other roles do. AI engineers build working AI projects that are used daily. That's the only difference, right? Now let's look at what does an AI engineer do. We already looked into the other roles. Now quickly let me explain what an AI engineer does. An AI engineer designs, develops, and deploys artificial intelligence systems to solve real-world problems. That basically means if there is a problem in healthcare and it could be solved using AI, that company would need an AI engineer to build them that AI system to solve that particular problem. So anywhere there is a business problem that can be solved with AI, an AI engineer is required. And most tech companies are slowly pivoting into AI. AI, not just for coding, that is you have a Copilot or Claude to help you write code and you deploy it. That technically is not AI engineering. That is just you are using AI tools to be a software engineer to increase your productivity. But AI engineers, you can use code from AI tools, depends on the company, or you can write your own code, but you're building AI products, right? So I think that is clear. So they bridge the gap between machine learning research and practical applications, ensuring AI models are scalable, efficient, ethical, and integrated into products or services that people actually use. Let's say a research scientist has created a new algorithm and it's groundbreaking. But if there are no AI engineers in between to use that algorithm to build products that real people use in their day-to-day life, there is no use for that algorithm, right? So basically, it's a intermediate kind of role where you are a software developer who builds AI projects. That's pretty much it, right? Now, what are the day-to-day responsibilities of an AI engineer? Starting off with model development. Train, test, and fine-tune ML and AI models. This is similar to what an ML engineer does, right? Now, within this, there are so many different things you'll have to learn. Recommendation engines and an NLP for a start. There is computer vision. There is more very intense topics that you'll have to learn for this. Then there is data handling, clean, pre-process and structure large data sets for AI use. Again, this is something you can know, but technically you don't need to, because most companies already have existing systems that give you clean data, or they have a data engineering team who can give you clean data for the requests that you make, right? But it's good to know, but this is not exactly a very required thing that you will need to know. But if you know, obviously it's going to help you. Integration, deploy AI models into apps, APIs, or cloud environments. To be honest, this is the most easiest thing to do, but also the most important thing to do, because you will need to know how an API works. Every single AI tool now has an API that you can use within your product, but it can't just be a direct use case. For example, there are a lot of companies that have done chatbots connecting to ChatGPT for a specific use case. Even though that is a separate product, that doesn't need a lot of work because you're just using the API and you are fine-tuning that into a particular chatbot. But if you're using AI for a very complete different use case to solve a different problem, in that case, you need to know how to deploy that particular application. Now, why do you need cloud environments? Because most companies are using AWS, Azure to host their projects. So knowing some or a few services within those tools will be helpful. For example, the most basic tool would be EC2 in AWS. You need to know how to launch servers, how to maintain servers, and how to use them, pretty much, right? Now, collaboration, work with data scientists, software engineers, product teams. This is pretty much the same for every single role. You have to collaborate you're in a startup or a big company, it doesn't matter, you're going to collaborate. Monitoring and maintenance, to be honest, this is again something which comes hand in hand with any role. If you launch a new feature, you're anyway going to monitor and see if you can fix bugs later, right? So this is also something that is going to be there. Problem solving, again, as an engineer, they're hiring you to solve problems within the company, to provide solutions, to create features for their existing products. So this is also one of the most important things, because they're going to hire you by problem solving, right? Because they're going to ask you DSA questions, they'll be asking you to solve, or they'll be asking you to code in the interviews, so you will have to be good at problem solving as well. And finally, documentation and reporting. Again, this goes hand in hand. So collaboration, monitoring, maintenance, documentation, and reporting are pretty much the same with all tech roles, but the very important part here is problem solving, integration, that is deploying these AI models, and model development, that is where you're actually developing an ML or an AI model that needs to be trained, tested, and then you deploy them into a cloud network, or if the company has its own data centers, you'll be deploying into that. That's pretty much it. Now let's move on to the skill set that's required to be an AI engineer. There are around 10 things that I want to share. Let me summarize all of this, right? Starting off with mathematics and statistics. This is pretty much the foundation of computer science. Without math and statistics, there is no software engineering. Similarly, there is no AI engineering. And when it comes to ML and AI, all of the algorithms are based on math. So without understanding math, you will not be able to understand machine learning. You will not be able to understand artificial intelligence. So be prepared for it. If you do not like working with math or statistics, this role wouldn't be for you. So keep that in mind, right? Programming languages, Python, R, SQL, additional C++, Java, Scala. So Python is primary. Most of the time, Python is used for ML, Python is used for data science, and now a lot of AI engineers are also using Python. Or if the project is built on C++, Java, or other high-level languages, they are still existent within companies. Obviously, you can use them. So there is no problem with that. Programming language, you can know any programming language. It doesn't matter when you're getting into a company unless they have specified it in the job description. Some companies want you to have experience in, let's say, C++. Then they would prefer a person who knows C++. If they just want someone to be proficient in one programming language who is able to adapt to the language that they're using within the company in a short period of time, they wouldn't have any problem with it. But yeah, for the interview, you can just learn some basics. ML algorithms, this is something you will learn, you will have to learn. Without understanding ML algorithms, you can't become an AI engineer. So classification, regression, clustering, recommendation systems, these are some things that you will have to learn. Next is deep learning, neural networks, CNNs, RNNs, transformers, generative models. To be honest, you don't have to start off with these concepts. Generative models are more than enough to start as an AI engineer right now in this current tech landscape. But learning these concepts will help you. But to be honest, start off with math, statistics, know a programming language, learn the basics of machine learning. Once that is done, learn frameworks and libraries that will help you become an AI engineer as well. There is TensorFlow, PyTorch, scikit-learn, Keras. These are all ML algorithms. These are also deep learning technically. So what I'm trying to say is you don't have to learn every single concept to become an AI engineer. Just learn the things that you would need. That's it. Next is NLP and computer vision. NLP is very important to become an AI engineer, but again, it depends on the work you will be doing. If you're not going to work on natural language, you wouldn't need NLP. But again, they would obviously ask questions related to it in interviews if the job role requires natural language. If you're going to work a lot with LLMs, in that case, NLPs would be required. And again, most jobs right now will be using LLMs. So NLP and computer vision are something that is really important. Data engineering is not something that an AI engineer needs to know. I have included it just to mention that this is something that will be there in pretty much ML, AI, data science, all of these roles. This will be in data science, ML, AI, all of these roles, because without data, you can't do anything, right? For example, to build an AI model, you need data to train that model. So now without data, there is no AI engineering or ML engineering or data science. So in that case, you need to know or understand data engineering. If it is a smaller company where they expect you to also process and clean data, in that case, learning the basics of data engineering is important. If not, this is completely avoidable, right? MLOps and deployment, again, as I mentioned, just you need to understand other things are surrounding AI. Once you build an AI model, how to deploy it and how to maintain that pipeline. Cloud platforms, as I've already mentioned in the previous part, where we were looking into the day-to-day responsibilities, where I mentioned integration, deploy models into apps, APIs, or cloud environments. Again, if your company has a cloud platform where all of the applications are running, then you will need to understand that cloud platform. Again, learning this isn't that big of a deal. You can learn it while you are learning AI and ML. You can simply practice developing projects and hosting it on AWS or Azure. That would be more than enough experience for you to begin as a junior AI engineer. And finally, data visualization. Again, this is technically not an AI engineer skill set. I've included it here just for the fact that if it is a smaller organization where they're expecting you to build features and also deploy and also share insights with your stakeholders, then learning basic data visualization tools will help you share insights in a more easier way and a better way, right? Okay, so this is the skill set that an AI engineer needs to know. The most important ones are understanding math and statistics. There is machine learning, understanding AI concepts, understanding basically NLP and computer vision, understanding LLMs, generative AI, and also understanding deployment. It could be just deployment within apps that the company already has running or into cloud platforms, right? I hope this is clear. Again, the skill set for specific job roles will change. So this is just an overall view that I wanted to share with you guys. Now, let's look at the other roles that are available in AI apart from AI engineering. So this kind of will give you an idea of what exactly an AI engineer is, because AI engineers are not AI research scientists or not AI solutions architects. Starting off with the first job role, that is AI research engineer, who pushes boundaries of AI with new algorithms and models. LLMs, multimodal AI, reinforcement learning. These are people who actually build that ecosystem on which current engineers are building AI products out of. That is engineers who work with OpenAI, Claude, and these big AI companies who have built that underlying set of algorithms on which Claude or ChatGPT is built on. Now, those people are research scientists, right? Using those algorithms, they implement those algorithms within ChatGPT, or I'm just giving an example of ChatGPT, but any AI tool, the algorithms that are built by the research scientists are implemented in the AI tools. That is, let's take an example of ChatGPT, and you use the API of ChatGPT to build products further, right? So that is an AI research scientist. Now, MLOps engineer, this I already mentioned a little bit, automates deployment, scaling and monitoring of AI models using Docker, Kubernetes, and cloud. This is more of a DevOps role, but in the AI space. Next is AI product manager, aligns AI tech with business strategy, defines roadmaps for AI-powered products. So technically, an AI product manager doesn't need to know coding, but again, with the premise of vibe coding, even product managers are able to learn coding. But again, as an AI product manager, if you want, you can learn the fundamentals of coding so that you understand how the team is working. But your main job role here would be to align the business strategy of the company with the products that are being built and make sure the products are solving the problems of the customers of that particular company. And you will have to manage all the AI products and AI. If you are building a suite of AI products or just few AI products, you will be the person who will be maintaining those products, right? And then AI solutions architect, design end-to-end AI system, integrating data pipelines, model and cloud infrastructure. So this is kind of for example, there is a cloud solutions architect role where, for example, let's say a company has a software that they want to migrate into cloud. Now, a solutions architect will provide a complete architecture on how it's going to look on the cloud, and also an estimate of what would the cost be of running it on the cloud, specifications of what are the different services that are going to be used, and what is that flow of that architecture. In this case, an AI solutions architect is just a person who does the same, who does for cloud, for AI. That's basically it. For example, if you're an AI project that's going to be running on AWS, in that case, an AI solutions architect will provide an architecture on how that can be migrated or pushed into AWS. That's basically it. And finally, generative AI engineers. This is the job that is trending right now, and most companies are looking for Gen AI engineers because most of them are pivoting into chatbots using AI. That is basically a GPT wrapper or a Claude wrapper or any AI wrapper, right? Now, let's say you're a company that has a chatbot within the ecosystem. You would need a Gen AI engineer to check the prompts, how the system is working, what are the types of responses that particular chatbot is providing, and fine-tuning it to that particular use case so that it doesn't hallucinate. That would be your main job role. For example, in Scalar, we have an AI companion within the Scalar's EdTech ecosystem, right? So this particular companion will answer questions related to the problems that you're solving. Let's say you're solving a Fibonacci series problem and you are stuck at a particular solution. Let's say you have almost all of the code, but you have stuck in one particular part. You can ask this particular companion and it will nudge you, not exactly give you the solution, just give you a nudge on how you can solve that particular problem. So now for our use case in EdTech, this is something that we will need to fine tune, right? Because we don't want the chatbot to provide the solution. We just want it to nudge the learner so that they can think a bit more and then solve that particular problem. So that fine-tuning is done by Gen AI engineers. I hope this is clear. These are the other roles within AI. This is just to give you an introduction of the different roles and also compare it with what an AI engineer does, right? Now, moving further, let's look into the roadmap that I want to share for becoming an AI engineer. Here the timelines I've provided is dependent on the pace of your learning. If you're able to learn basics very quickly, then you can quickly move on to the next parts. Or if you already know programming languages, if you already know a programming language, you're very strong in it. If you already know DSA, you're very strong in it, but want to get into AI, you can simply skip the foundation part. You can directly go into core machine learning and deep learning, right? So you don't need the foundation if you're already skilled in it. If you do not, start with the foundation. Learn Python libraries like NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, data manipulation libraries, data visualization, data cleaning. There are so many different libraries that you can learn. And then learn SQL for data querying. SQL is something that is required for every tech role because every single company has a database. And without learning SQL or understanding SQL, you won't be able to survive in AI. So learn SQL and foundational math, linear algebra, calculus, probability. So linear algebra, so basically foundational math and also statistics are important. So after learning all of these foundational skills, then move on to core machine learning. So while learning Python, you can also look into other Python libraries for machine learning, that is scikit-learn, classic algorithms like regression, random forest, XGBoost, end-to-end workflow, feature engineering, and model evaluation, right? So you know algorithms, but if you don't know how to build models using that, even that won't help you. So once learning these algorithms, learn how to use those algorithms to build products and build models. And then deep learning specialization, this is something, again, it depends on finding your particular niche that you want to get into. If you want to get into Gen AI, you can kind of move into that direction on learning more about LLMs, multimodality and all. But if you want to get into a deep learning specification, then you can learn PyTorch. Mostly PyTorch is preferred. Key architectures, that is CNNs, RNNs, transformers, probably SVMs as well. And then specialization, you can look into either natural language processing, which kind of will take you into the LLM path, or computer vision, which can get you into video image analysis and maybe even real-time analysis, right? And then finally, AI engineer. So now, to become an AI engineer, you would also need to be a software engineer technically, with the skill set of being an AI engineer. Now, within AI engineering, you will need to know API development because most AI tools need APIs which are being connected, right? So you need to know how APIs work and also how to create APIs. Containerization, Docker is important for even a software engineer. So this is kind of basics. Version control, Git, again, it's basic. Cloud ML platforms, depending on if your company uses cloud. Most companies are using cloud. So if your company uses cloud, please go ahead with it. Learn AWS, GCP, or Azure. Just learn one cloud platform. You don't need to learn all, because if you know one cloud platform, you can easily switch to, or you can easily learn the other ones. It's kind of a transferable skill. MLOps tools, MLflow, and basic Spark. Yes, you can learn this as well. And finally, the job hunt. Once you know all of these things and you're confident enough, you can start looking for jobs. But again, all of these are just a common roadmap that I've shared. Some companies don't need you to be a complete expert in all of these. They just want to know that you have put in the effort to learn AI concepts and also are good at coding. If you just know that, you can get into AI engineering. The final part of the roadmap is basically portfolio and job hunting. Now, you can start creating a portfolio right after you know the basics and you can get into AI engineering. You can maybe start creating a portfolio right when you're looking in, when you're learning machine learning and deep learning, and also creating some basic AI projects. You can start creating your portfolio right away. And again, this is just something that I've shared for a 1 year. And in case you want to shorten this, you can just pick out the things that you need to learn and create a short plan. You can simply use ChatGPT, just throw in, okay, this job role has this job description and I want to learn these skills, and to learn these skills, give me a roadmap. It's going to throw you a roadmap. Just start learning those skills and you'll be fine, right? Now for the job hunt, similarly, most companies, again, they would ask lead code questions. So you can grind lead code, create a GitHub portfolio, or just a portfolio that you have, system design, because system design would be asked in some companies. Big tech companies like Mang companies ask for system design. You can learn basic system design questions as well. And finally, professional branding and continuous learning. Professional branding is, most people use LinkedIn. They can have a really good LinkedIn profile. If you have pretty much everything set up in your LinkedIn profile with all of your skills mentioned, because LinkedIn is kind of a text-based platform. When hiring managers or HRs look for your profile, they would not be looking for the job role. They'll be looking for certain skills which are shared by their team, right? So when they search, if that keyword is present in your profile, high probability is that they can send you a message and ask you that we have an opening. Are you willing to apply, right? So make sure your LinkedIn is pretty much set on that aspect. Continuous learning is, there would be a new algorithm that will drop. There will be a new tool that will drop. This is not going to end in tech. Tech is going to be growing at the same pace that it is growing right now. So you will be having to learn newer tools and newer concepts eventually. This is a simple roadmap that I've shared. If you want to learn more, we already have a complete AI engineering roadmap available. I can link that video in the comment section. You can go ahead and look into it. And if you want us to create more AI content, let us know what topics you want us to create. We can create that. So that's it for this video, guys. If you want us to create more content around AI or any other tech topic, let us know in the comment section. We will be able to create it. And if you're looking to get into AI engineering, ScaleUp provides an advanced AI ML program, co-certified by both Scaler and CEC of IIT Roorkee. And if you want to get into it, you can simply go to the web page and check out the details. I will link it in the comment section, or simply request a call back on the web page and one of our counselors would give you a call. So that's it for this video. Meet you in another. Thank you so much.